The ceremony was ready. The guest list was set. Some of the biggest names in artificial intelligence were expected to be in the room. And then, suddenly, everything stopped. President Donald Trump was supposed to sign a major executive order on artificial intelligence. It was supposed to be a big moment for Washington, a signal that the United States was finally taking a more serious step toward AI oversight while still trying to stay ahead of China. But just hours before the signing, the order was pulled. No dramatic press conference. No long explanation. Just a sudden delay. And the reason Trump gave was simple. He said America was already leading China, leading everyone, and he did not want to do anything that could get in the way of that lead. That statement sounds straightforward at first, but behind the scenes, this was not just about one president changing his mind. According to multiple reports, this was about Silicon Valley's most powerful figures stepping in at the last minute and warning the White House that even a light-touch AI review system could slow America down. And that is where this story becomes much bigger than one executive order. Because what happened here shows exactly how complicated the AI race has become. It is no longer just about who builds the smartest model. It is about who controls the rules, who gets access to the president, who gets to define safety, and who benefits when regulation disappears. The planned order was not some aggressive crackdown on the AI industry. It was not a licensing system. It was not a mandatory shutdown of new AI models. It did not say companies had to wait months for government permission before launching their products. Instead, the draft would have created a voluntary system where companies developing powerful frontier AI models could share them with federal agencies for security review before public release. The earlier version reportedly included a review window of up to 90 days. That means the government would get a chance to examine these models for dangerous cybersecurity capabilities, national security risks, and possible misuse before they were released to the public. On paper, that sounds like a compromise. Not full regulation, but not total hands-off freedom either. But apparently, even that was too much for some of the most influential people in tech. According to reports, Elon Musk, Mark Zuckerberg, and David Sacks all spoke directly with Trump between Wednesday night and Thursday morning. Musk runs xAI, a direct competitor in the AI race. Zuckerberg's Meta has been pushing hard into open-source AI, and David Sacks, who previously served as Trump's AI and cryptocurrency advisor, has remained an influential voice in the administration's technology policy circles. Their argument was clear: do not let government review slow down American AI. That message landed directly inside the administration's accelerationist wing, the group that believes the United States should move as fast as possible on AI development because China is moving fast too. And in the end, the signing was stopped. Trump told reporters that he did not like certain parts of the order. He did not explain exactly which parts bothered him, but he did say he was worried the order could become a blocker. That one word matters, because in the world of AI, blocker is exactly what the fastest-moving companies fear. A blocker means delay. A blocker means review. A blocker means someone outside the company gets to ask questions before a product goes live. And for companies racing to build the next dominant AI model, even a voluntary review process can look like the beginning of something bigger. This is why the fight over AI regulation is so intense. The companies say they want safety, but they also want speed. Governments say they want innovation, but they also want control. And somewhere in the middle is a technology that could reshape jobs, cybersecurity, warfare, education, media, and the global economy. The United States still does not have comprehensive national AI legislation. Instead, AI policy has been built piece by piece through executive orders, agency guidance, voluntary agreements, and political pressure. That creates a messy situation. One part of the government may want more oversight. Another part may worry that oversight gives China an advantage. Some states may try to pass their own AI laws. Then Washington may try to block those state laws in the name of creating one national standard. And while all of this is happening, the biggest AI companies are not waiting. They are building, launching, competing, and lobbying. That is what made this canceled signing so revealing. For months, people have asked who really shapes AI policy in Washington. Is it Congress? Is it the White House? Is it national security officials? Is it safety researchers? Or is it the billionaires and CEOs building the models? This episode gave a very uncomfortable answer. When a major AI order can be stopped overnight after phone call from top industry figures, it suggests that the people with direct access to the president may have more influence than the agencies trying to build guardrails. And this is not only a domestic issue. China is watching everything. Trump's main argument for pulling back was that America cannot risk losing its lead over China. That has become the central frame for almost every major AI policy decision in Washington. The message is always the same. America must build faster, deploy faster, and dominate the global AI race. But here's the twist. China is not simply ignoring AI governance. Beijing has been moving toward more formal AI rules, including efforts around ethics reviews and broader AI legislation. In other words, China is trying to build its own governance framework while also pushing forward technologically. That creates a strange contrast. Washington says regulation could slow America down. Beijing is writing rules while still racing forward. Now, that does not mean China's system is better. It does not mean China's AI laws are more open, democratic, or trustworthy. But it does show that the global AI race is not only about speed. It is also about who can govern powerful systems without destroying innovation. And that may be the real race. Because the most powerful AI models are no longer just chatbots that answer simple questions. Frontier AI systems are becoming more capable at coding, reasoning, planning, cybersecurity tasks, and autonomous action. That makes them incredibly useful, but also potentially dangerous if misused. Imagine an AI system that can help defend a hospital network from cyber attacks. Now, imagine a similar system helping a criminal find weaknesses in that same hospital network. That is the problem governments are trying to understand. The question is not simply, should AI be regulated? The real question is, where should the line be drawn before powerful models become too risky to release without review? AI companies argue that too much regulation will slow innovation and help China. Safety advocates argue that no guardrails could create serious national security and cybersecurity risks. Politicians want to look strong on both innovation and safety. And the public is left wondering who is actually in charge. But the story did not end with the canceled ceremony. After the original signing was blocked, the order came back in a scaled-down form. Instead of the earlier 90-day review window, the signed version created a voluntary framework where leading AI developers can provide government agencies access to powerful models up to 30 days before public release. That change is important. 90 days sounded like a serious review period. 30 days sounds much lighter. And because the framework remains voluntary, it still avoids a hard licensing system. So what happened? The final version appears to be a compromise. The administration gets to say is taking AI security seriously. The tech industry gets to avoid heavier regulation. And Trump gets to keep the message that America will not slow down in the race against China. But critics will look at this and ask whether the government truly gained oversight, or whether industry pressure successfully weakened the plan before it became real. Supporters will say this is the right balance. They will argue that America needs fast AI development, not red tape. They will say a voluntary pre-release review gives the government visibility without choking innovation. Opponents will say voluntary systems are not enough. They will argue that the same companies making billions from AI should not be the ones deciding when, how, and whether their models are reviewed. And that debate is only getting started. Because every major AI company has its own interest here. Musk's xAI wants room to compete with OpenAI, Anthropic, Google, and Meta. Meta wants to continue pushing its open-source AI strategy without heavy restrictions. OpenAI has supported certain government review efforts, but it also has its own policy interests. Anthropic has often positioned itself as more safety-focused, but it is also competing in the same high-stakes market. Nobody in this race is neutral. Every company wants rules that protect its own strategy. Every company wants to avoid rules that help its competitors. And every company knows that whoever shapes AI regulation now could shape the future of the entire industry. That is why this story matters for ordinary people too. AI policy may sound boring. Executive orders may sound like Washington paperwork. But these decisions affect the tools that will soon power search engines, phones, schools, offices, hospitals, banks, military systems, and possibly even critical infrastructure. If the government moves too slowly, dangerous systems could spread before anyone understands the risks. If the government moves too aggressively, innovation could slow down, and America could lose ground in the global race. That is the tightrope. And right now, Washington is trying to walk it, while Silicon Valley is pulling hard from one side and China is pushing hard from the other. The canceled ceremony showed one thing clearly. AI companies are not just building the future. They are fighting to write the rules of that future. And the scaled-back executive order shows something else. The government wants oversight, but it also does not want to be seen as the reason America slows down. So the real question is not whether AI regulation is coming. It already is. The real question is whether it will be strong enough to matter, flexible enough to protect innovation, and independent enough to avoid being shaped entirely by the companies it is supposed to oversee. Because the next generation of AI will be more powerful than anything we have seen so far. These models may help discover vulnerabilities, automate complex tasks, support national defense, write code, generate media, and make decisions faster than humans can track. That kind of power needs trust. And trust does not come from speed alone. It comes from transparency, accountability, testing, and rules that people believe are fair. For Trump, the political message is simple. America must beat China. For Silicon Valley, the business message is simple. Do not slow us down. For regulators, the safety message is simple. powerful AI cannot be released blindly. But those three messages do not always fit together. That is why one canceled ceremony became a window into the future of AI politics. It showed that the battle over artificial intelligence is not just happening in labs. It is happening in the Oval Office. It is happening in lobbying calls. It is happening between CEOs, investors, national security officials, and lawmakers. And the stakes are only getting higher. Because whoever wins this fight will not just decide how AI companies launch their next models. They may decide who leads the next era of technology. They may decide how much power private companies have over systems that affect national security. And they may decide whether AI safety becomes a real framework or just another promise made after the product is already out. The signing ceremony was canceled. The order was rewritten. A weaker version came back. But the bigger fight is far from over. Because in the AI race between America and China, speed matters. But control matters too. And right now, the world is watching to see whether Washington can govern the most powerful technology of our time without handing the steering wheel completely to the companies building it. 1. HTTPS www.semaphore.com Article 05212026 Elon Musk, Mark Zuckerberg, derail, Trump, I order, YouTube source chat.com Elon Musk, Mark Zuckerberg derail Trump AI order.